Hey guys, it's Destin. Thanks for clicking this video. Today we're working on some character design at like 1 in the morning, so I am chugging coffee. I work best at night, and I tend to not focus well during the day, so I'm doing my character design at 1 in the morning. And this is Blake. He's the main character in a graphic novel that I am writing, and it's about my personal experiences with domestic violence, so it is a darker story. And when I made this one, I was happy with it until I wasn't, and I decided I hate this design, and I'm gonna completely redo it.
What have I done? What have I done? Oh no.
So after deciding that I hate the first character drawing, I redesigned Blake's character using advice from the Starfish Face, who also has a great book I'm reading on how to make a webcomic called, I think it's called How to Webcomic, and it's super good. It has some super great advice. I highly recommend it. I have not finished it yet, but I already know it's good. And I'll link it in the description below so you guys can check it out too. She has a lot of great videos on character design tips, tropes to avoid, and more. So her channel is linked as well. One of the things I wanted to challenge myself with during the sketch phase was shape language, which, if you didn't know, is the theory that shapes convey characteristics. For example, round characters convey softness, innocence, and kindness, maybe even a friendly, outgoing personality. Blake starts out with a soft shape. He's kind, loyal, and loving, and just wants to be accepted, loved, and fit in. He's adopted, and he feels like he's always been the odd one out in the family. He didn't really have the best relationship with his adoptive parents because he's trans-masculine, but he has a close relationship with his little sister, who accepts him for who he is. Growing up, he made a lot of friends, but he never really felt super close to anyone. He struggled a bit to find his place amongst his peers, and he eventually found where he fit in, amongst the outcasts. He was drawn to the emo scene culture and found a lot of joy in the fashion and acceptance that he found in that subculture. He had a group of friends, which he fell in love with one of the guys that he was friends with, and this guy ended up just using him and lying to him and essentially broke Blake's heart. So he ended up basically swearing off dating for good. He's not looking for a relationship, and he's actually starts distancing himself from his friend group, who mostly took Jace's side, except for one named Mara, who is Blake's best friend. The summer after graduation, Blake is at a party, celebrating his newfound freedom from the hell of high school, right? And he sees that Jace is there. He ends up running into Jace at the party, and he starts having a panic attack. He runs out of the party, and he starts kind of hyperventilating behind a tree, and Evan walks up to him, asking if he's alright. And Blake, he recognizes Evan from somewhere, but he just can't place where. So he plays off that he just drank too much, and they get to chatting over a cigarette outside of the party, and they just click. Evan is charming, exuberant, and spontaneous, and they bond over their similar upbringings and experiences around being trans, music, and skateboarding. So Evan gets Blake's number, and they start texting constantly, because it's the first time Blake feels like he found someone who understands him for exactly who he is, and accepts him, maybe even loves him. And Blake starts to fall head over heels fast for this guy, and starts to envision a whole future with him, but he doesn't want to go too fast. But Blake starts inviting him over to hang out at his place. Blake's family doesn't approve of Evan much, though, especially because they believe that Evan is reinforcing Blake's transition. Blake starts sneaking out and eventually sneaking Evan into his room during the night to spend time together without his parents' knowledge. But one day, his parents walk in on Evan and Blake cuddling together in bed. And Blake and his parents get in a huge fight after Evan leaves. They end up telling Blake to leave and to not come back. So Blake decides to embark on a journey with Evan to get their own place together, even though they haven't really known each other long. They struggle for a while, crashing on a friend's couch for a bit until they're able to get their own place in downtown Seattle. Living together started really rough. They began with basically nothing, and eventually they start trying to make their little studio apartment into a cozy home. But this is where things start to go kind of awry, and Blake has to start making some decisions and really evaluate if love can withstand all things, or if this is even love at all. I'm thinking that I want Blake's color scheme to change, kind of dimming his colors as time goes on, and Evan's color scheme will get brighter. If you want to know about Evan more, I'm going to do a video on his character design, and more about his lore soon. Both of the characters start out soft, and they have both struggled a lot throughout their lives to fit in. And I want both of their designs to convey that. But they are completely different with how they cope with their experiences, how they carry themselves, and I think that's kind of where a major relationship difficulty lies. For a character design in a comic or a graphic novel or whatever this project would be classified as, I think visual language is a really important part of communicating key aspects of the character. So I really tried to make Blake look more expressive in his pose. For a while, I was using fashion references from Pinterest, which are really great if you want to do portraits of pretty Pinterest girls, which is what I do a lot of. But it made all of my drawings look so stiff and flat, no matter how much I rendered them, and they just didn't have any expressions, and I was trying to practice them without having any references for an expression. I was just trying to wing it every time, which you can tell, right? So I switched to more candid photo references or scenes from movies, and I saw my poses and expressions in my characters improve so much immediately. For my first drawing, I did not use a reference, which was a huge mistake, but I also didn't do as complex of rendering, which I also think was a mistake. But I watched this really cool reel on Instagram going over a rendering technique using a textured gradient like underpainting, and it enhanced the colors so much. I've used underpainting in my acrylic paintings, right? But I have never used it in digital paintings before, and I have never thought about it before. But the way that it works is essentially that you have colors underneath a painting that helps the other colors on top of that color stand out, because you can see it's like in layers, right? And all the colors are a little bit translucent, so you can see the reflective light of that color underneath it. So for these characters in this specific drawing, I did an underpainting with a textured gradient. And I actually really liked how it turned out. A huge part of character design is also color theory, like what colors display a certain emotion or characteristic. For Blaine, I chose neon green, which is usually associated with evil characters. Like in Disney, they make all of the evil characters have neon green evil magic. I made a conscious choice to break that trope because Blake likes to be perceived as an edgy, alternative guy, but it's really a front for his softer side. A lot of people think he's cool on the outside, but he's actually really sensitive and just keeps a lot of feelings to himself, which is why I picked a dark blue to complement the green, with little silver and black accents, which I think conveys his deep emotional sensitivity without being like, oh, he's dressed in black, so he's emo and goth or whatever. Eventually, his colors will be muted and he'll wear black throughout the story as trauma happens. His colors will dim and he'll start to lose parts of himself in the relationship, which results in him losing his love of color and fashion and creation. I think I also forgot to mention that Blake is a digital artist, but he makes his money working in sales, tech sales, which he hates doing. He has dreams of becoming a professional artist and making a living through selling his artwork and his commissions, which is why I drew him with an iPad. To show him with different expressions, I also drew him in a pose where he's slouching on a couch, because he's very big bisexual energy and doesn't know how to sit on a couch properly. I also showed him gaming, because he loves playing a bunch of different games, like fantasy RPGs, first-person shooters, and cozy games, like Minecraft and Animal Crossing. In the depiction that I made in the reference, though, he's rage gaming in a first-person shooter, because despite his elite gaming skills, he's still got sniped by a 7-year-old. Another thing in character design to think about is the character's social background and class, and how that influences how the character expresses themselves, whether that be in their outfit, their hairstyle, their accessories, in the way they behave, or just the way they view the world. You really have to envision your character as a real-life person, and ask them these questions as if you're getting to know a friend. To kind of convey his techier side, I gave him some oversized, nerdy-style glasses, but I still made them stylish enough to make sure they'd fit his overall alternative style. The thing about his glasses, though, he hates wearing them, and is constantly taking them off whenever he should be wearing them. So it's kind of crucial that he wears them, but he only uses them to draw. Anyways, I think that's enough ranting about my OC for now. If you guys liked this video, make sure you hit the notification bell to see when I post more of them.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure that if you liked it, you leave a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment. I respond to all of them, so conversate with me, ask me stuff, all that. Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you know when I post. I'm a little bit sporadic. I'm trying to find a schedule that works for me and my chronic illness, so yeah. That's great. Alright, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye.